We welcome you to the U.S. Lacrosse Certified Observer webinar for 2020. My name is Maggie Walsh. My partner tonight is Colleen Spiegelhoff. Our efforts tonight are a compilation of videos. Our focus tonight is how did the observer deliver the strengths and challenges? The purpose of a productive observation is to promote education through positive reinforcement, recognition of an official's challenges, and prescriptive solutions to help the official improve their officiating. Tonight's webinar is a bit different in that instead of telling you which methods to employ and which phrases to use, we are showing you. We have compiled video clips of some observers to give you a first-hand look at which questions to ask and how to deliver them effectively. Please note, these are clips of observations. We are not showing you the lengthy discussions the observers have with their officials. We are highlighting pieces of conversation and pointing out the good parts in the hopes that you can incorporate them into your own observations. The observations we filmed are all with three-person crews, but the methods are the same. We want you to focus on what the observers say, not on the officials being observed. Pay attention to the methods the observer uses to deliver the information and the way they interact with the officials to ensure that the message they are sending is delivered. Observations are different than ratings. In an observation, we need to focus on education and skill improvement. Your job as an observer isn't to find fault in an official, it is to help them get better. You accomplish this by offering them solutions to the challenges they face. For these solutions to be effective, they must be presented so the candidate understands the solution and that the solution is attainable. Tonight, we are focusing on the observation and not the rating session. This list are some of the terms and phrases you will probably recognize. The fact is, an official will hear these terms throughout their officiating career, from youth to collegiate. You should be familiar with them and not only know what they mean, but use them regularly. If an official is aware of these concepts early, they will benefit in the long run. They will continue to hear the same phrases and start to incorporate the ideas early in their career. Are any of these terms new to you? It's okay if they are. Please use the question option on your menu tab on the right of your screen and jot down the terms for which you may need clarification. We will address them at the end of this presentation. There are, of course, many other terms which we use when observing officials. You might remember those that have been shared with you during your observation or rating session. They are probably the same terms your observer heard themselves. And so we begin. If possible, meet with the official you are observing before the game. Ask them if there is anything they'd like you to watch, if they've been working on anything specific, how they feel about how they're doing at this point in their officiating career. But be sure to tell the official you are there to help. So, how do we start the conversation? What do we say to the crew first? As they come off the field, open your conversation with general questions for the team so that they can fill in the answers. Get their impressions of what they are feeling and seeing on the field, and listen to their responses. In this clip, the observer asks a general question of the officials to get them thinking about their own performance.
Anything that stood out for you guys in terms of speed of game, how you felt keeping up with them, how you felt positioning where you needed to?
In my head, I'm going, don't get too far ahead.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't ahead enough.
Yeah.
But I kept thinking, don't run all out or I'll be too far ahead.
Yeah.
And then I was getting caught.
So I would say for you, right, good observation, reflection on it, because you had, early on, you had one where you weren't responding as quickly to the transition.
Right.
Then, the next two, you responding quicker to it and keeping a better speed to it. I would say for the way these girls are going to move, don't feel that you're going to be sprinting too far ahead of them, right? You know, like keep that in mind.
Okay,
But in general, like you're going to have to keep moving, and then you can adjust back as you need to adjust back. Don't think you're sprinting too far. If they're passing and catching and you're not following, then you're just going to get away from it. So you have to just be.
As you heard in the clip, the official noted they got caught in transition. It would have been easy for the observer to open with, "You got caught behind in transition a few times." But by allowing the official to analyze their own performance, the observer didn't need to criticize the official. They already knew their error. A general question to the crew gives everyone the opportunity to express their thoughts early. In many cases, the official may not say much for fear of bringing attention to a perceived error. If they don't offer information, you should help open the conversation with your thoughts. Again, keep it positive and general, and then focus on specifics. Note that a response from a crew of officials on an opening statement of, "Do you have any questions about general positioning?" we sometimes get no answer, "It was fine," and a blank stare. This may happen often, and you must be ready for another approach to get the conversation flowing and the challenge addressed. Example, you might use, "How deep should we go as trail?" if that happened to be the problem. In this clip, the observer is discussing lead positioning with the crew he has already observed earlier in the day. Pay attention to the positive comments he makes before offering a suggestion for improvement. He also addresses the general positioning of the crew.
And then what did you guys feel positioning wise? All right, so we'll start with lead position. Any questions, any thoughts about this one's lead position versus previous ones? No? So in general, you can see over the course of the day your movement has gotten better, right? You've increased it. Timing. I want you to work, and as you move forward, continue to work on your timing of movement in relation to how the ball is moving. So if you're low and the ball, like we talked, the ball is kicked away from you and gone away from you, then you have to be on that kind of rubber band or string. You have to move up as the ball moves away.
In this case, he has also included a prescriptive solution to work on the timing of the movement in relation to the ball, so the officials are moving as the ball is moving. In many instances, the officials have already started talking to each other as they come off the field. It is important as an observer to allow the discussion to continue. Ask questions to clarify what they are discussing, but allow them to have the conversation. It will give you an idea of their thought process while on the field. This conversation will also help the crew, who may have not worked together before, to smooth out their coordination as a team.
We're saying it's a little bit smaller of a field, so we need to make sure that we're not on top of each other and taking each other's space.
This way or this way?
This way.
Up and down, goal to goal?
Or
Or
side
side
to
within
side.
Within the half.
Within half?
I thought
Within
some
the
full field
sideline to side. Okay. All right.
some full field. I thought she was pushing me. I should have just gone.
Well, so I tried to
She
know how
had
to
the girl.
say. I was just like,
And
there
I'm
was one
watching
who kept
her,
looking
and I'm
back, I
like,
was
just
like,
go. And of course, I'm not going to outrun the college
I'll
kid,
have
but I'm
it.
going to try my
Right.
best.
It was on, right over here.
Just say, I got it,
It's
I
like,
got it, I
I-
got it.
Right,
Yeah, and then you
Just
can
go.
send him on.
right.
That would be good.
What started as a discussion regarding the umpiring triangle transitioned into a comment about field coverage. Both discussion points were important, but if the observer didn't let the crew speak first, she may have missed the first topic in an effort to address the second. Sometimes getting the right answer is all about asking the right questions. Questions that lead an official towards the right answer are very productive. In this clip, the observer allows the official to answer her own question. This is a great method for learning. Not only does it encourage a good conversation between the official and the observer, it gives the official confidence in her own abilities. Note how, even though the observer doesn't say much, there is definitely teaching taking place.
I was going in, I felt comfortable going in, and then if this is uncontested out here, so if the girl in here just passes it back out, is that okay? Just to I know they're going to go down here, and then I'll be right back in with you, or do you want us?
Where's
like,
your best
booking it
way
out
out?
to here?
Where's your best, quickest way out? Yes.
Down.
Down.
Okay, so then I could look up this
Yes.
way. I didn't want to split them because I knew
Nope.
she was going to pass, so just go down. This
Plus,
way.
that puts you so far.
Right, that's why I didn't want to
So
do
if you
that.
do
I got
that
stuck there, too.
baby step down below, you got them both.
Right.
You got this pass,
Yeah.
and you got the next pass.
There are many times during an observation that we think we know what happened on the field, but we aren't really sure. These are the times we really need to listen. Asking questions to help clarify things may change your comments or your approach to discussing a topic. Don't be too quick to tell an official they missed something. Ask questions to make sure you understand what happened and give the official time to explain what they saw. In this clip, the official is explaining a coach's question regarding a shooting space call. Note how the observer asks questions to clarify the official's understanding of the rule.
What was that coach's
She
question? I have
on
that
the,
down
on
here.
the shooting space. The second girl wasn't on anybody. The one just in front of her had a player, but she was the one.
That was in
I saw that
shooting
one.
space.
Correct.
Was that the path to goal?
Yeah, she was right there within 5 yards.
Okay, but did she have a path through these two legal people?
Yeah, she was beyond them.
She was beyond them
And then
over
that
here.
girl just kind of broke out of that because the girl, technically, if the girl's double teaming a stationary player, she's fine. Then she broke away from her, and all of a sudden she's in.
Yeah.
shooting space.
As long as those two ladies up front
It's always been a
were
sort of a
controlling that
dilemma
path.
for me with that. But
All right. If these two people right here
yes,
disallow me to have a path to goal,
correct.
and that person's in shooting space, I don't have a path to goal.
Correct.
So she can't be in shooting space.
Right.
But
Wait for her.
if you move, she's in shooting space.
It would have been very easy for the observer to say, that shooting space call was wrong. But by asking questions and helping the official visualize the situation, the observer showed the official the call was incorrect instead of telling him. When you have constructive comments to make, sandwich the comments in a positive, challenge, positive approach. This is sometimes called the sandwich or the Oreo cookie approach. You start the conversation by letting the official know they've done something well. Even brand new officials who are really struggling will have a positive. You can say, you look very professional, or you seem very calm on the field. The critique part is harder. You want to tell the official what you perceive as a challenge, but deliver it in a way to let them know that they can fix it. This is where the prescriptive solution comes into place. The official needs to fix something, and you, as the observer, have just the answer. Offer suggestions, things to try, places to move, things to consider, anything that will help the official understand how to implement the correction. And then end the conversation with another positive. It allows the official to leave the conversation feeling good about themselves and feeling as if they actually can do this. In this clip, the observer makes the perfect compliment sandwich. The simple statement, just think about that, allows the official to reflect on the situation without the observer clearly stating their error.
When you had the effect of the shot, it was a good call. Just make sure you verbalize the effect of the shot, even a little louder. I don't know if you did, but loud enough so that the people who are now getting another shot,
Yes.
the other people know. Just a little louder on that. And I liked your cards and stuff. Early on, like there were some calls that were like a little tight. Remember I said
I
call
should've-
tight?
They were tight,
They
but
were
not
a
as
little
tight.
Too
Too
tight.
tight. Okay.
So like one in particular, the ball came up. I want to say it was not on a draw, and they were both going at it, and you were behind it, and so I don't think you could see what was in front. So let your seeing trail, because it was a nice check. But you were behind it. Just think about that. Like,
Yeah.
the ball's going to my friends.
Yeah, so I might not have the best view of that.
Right. Yep. It's good. Good. Any questions?
So, how do we deliver the meat of that compliment sandwich? How do we point out the flaws without blatantly criticizing the officials? The following are suggestions of phrases you can use to deliver constructive criticism. As we try to keep the conversation positive and open and have the officials remain open to their challenges, these phrases will make the meeting more of an educational conversation rather than a sharp critique. This clip is a discussion of restraining line coverage on the draw. By suggesting that the correction is just a reminder, the observer is reinforcing her confidence in the team. You knew this, you just forgot, is a great approach to delivering constructive criticism.
Where are your eyes on the draw? Where were they?
Your restraining line and your side
Yeah,
of the
I'm
glove.
sort of
Alright,
doing.
now the ball went up and you were doing the draw. You two were watching the draw. You weren't watching the restraining. Okay, the ball
I
went.
did take my.
The ball went to Steph. So Steph's on it. So you should be peeking at that restraining line, backing up so you can peek at that, and
Yep.
and when Steph does possession, then you can switch back. What happened in the last game is we had a possession notification after the ball went over the restraining line. So once the ball crosses the restraining line, all bets are off, right? And you really shouldn't have to do any signal for possession, just as a reminder.
Right.
Okay.
We did have it.
Yeah.
Right.
Early.
And I hit,
Yes.
I think I said play
Release,
on.
but then
I
I
said
think
or
you
something
signaled,
like
yeah.
play on because it wasn't a particular possession, but a lot of times they're like hesitant.
Yeah, they
All
are
right.
hesitant
They
to
kind of
go.
waited. Once it's cleared the line, go.
Going, yeah, went over the line. What do I do now?
Right.
You know, right? Okay, well, that's just a reminder.
Yep.
Another good idea is to use if-then statements. If you can do X, then you can see Y. Once again, it's telling the official you believe they can do something, and more importantly, that if they do it, the results will be beneficial to them. In this clip, the observer is discussing C positioning in a 3-person system. Note that she never says you shouldn't or you didn't. She offers the correction in a way that helps the official understand why the correction is important.
Okay, a couple of things. Like I thought
Okay.
I thought your triangle in settle play was really good.
Okay.
Like I think you guys moved together really nicely. There were times that I think it was both of you and possibly Lisa, when the ball went wide as C, you kind of went with it. So like, as the players were crisscrossing through here, so the players were going like from here to here, say, and a C, you kind of mimicked them. So what you're losing is that attack defense. So as they go that way, you want to be able to see between the bodies. So if they're going that way, stay this way.
Okay.
So as they go, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So come
Keep the
in
space
and
between
don't
them.
go as far between and look
Right.
in between them. Gotcha.
Yeah. And when you go, you're giving up all this space
Yeah.
in the middle.
Yep.
Okay. So
We're leaving this unattended for a second.
exactly, and you're giving up the being able to see between two players
Okay.
because you're just railroading them with them right along with them.
And when the ball's here, when we're seeing, we can still navigate to see through.
Exactly.
So, I got you.
Yep.
Okay,
And
makes
you're
sense.
gonna go wide when you have to, like contested ball,
Sure.
you know, that kind of thing. But you
Okay.
don't have to be outside all the players
Mhm.
as C. You don't have
Yeah,
to always.
perfect. I get what you're saying. I can understand that. Yeah.
This clip presents a good approach to a game that has gotten a bit rougher. The teams were unequal in skill, and the stronger team also exhibited rougher play. The game basically got away from the officials.
This game was tougher for you guys as a crew, from what I could tell, in terms of the intensity, the tenor that the teams came.
Yeah,
But that's my perspective. What was your perspective on
that was
the tenor?
physical.
Felt it was more physical.
I felt better during this game than I did the other game.
The other ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were faster.
They were
than the others.
faster.
Yeah, they were faster.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, I think there were. I'll give you the pieces for it. There were times where you had good no calls. There were times when you had no calls that needed to be calls. And then, for the most part, when you had calls, you were good with it. I don't think many of them needed to be escalated to cards, But I think by having a few more in there, it would have helped. I think just kind of level the playing field because you had both teams playing with a decent level of skill, one playing with a higher level of intensity, aggression, sticks on the back.
Yeah.
You know, and so those are the things that sometimes we see that, right? We see one team fouling more discreetly and the other team fouling more aggressively. We're both still fouling, but we got to balance the playing field there. We do have some influence and impact on that.
The observer opened the conversation with an interesting statement. I saw some good no calls, some calls that needed calls, some good calls, and some that maybe didn't need a card. Suggestions were given to the crew so they can look back and think about what they called or did not call. Was a solution offered? Did the crew agree or offer their own solution? Either of these outcomes of the discussion would have given the team some insight into a solution and something that they could put into practice in the future. There are many other phrases that you can use to deliver constructive criticism. Whatever method you choose, make sure you're offering a solution to the challenge they face. Our job as observers is to help the officials get better. By offering that solution, you're doing just that. Note that none of these phrases are critical. They are offering a different way of doing something or of looking at something. The "if you can do blank, then you can see blank," for example, is telling the official that you believe they can do something and, more importantly, that if they do it, the result will be beneficial to them. You're basically telling the official, "I believe you can improve."
Some conversations need to be had and they can be difficult. Try not to directly confront the team or the individual with a negative comment when a major challenge is reflected in the game. Instead, raise the topic and open it up to discussion. Here we have a team that did not work out a problem. Note the way it was covered with suggestions and solutions and not blame. In this situation, the crew is reminded of an incident in the game when a partner collided with a player about to receive a pass that they, as a team, should have stepped in to help resolve the situation, and they did not. The observer leads the team through the issue of how this decision made by them impacted play, and then helps them decide that there was probably more they could have done to resolve the issue.
So I turned for transition, and the girl was there, almost like on a legal
So,
pick.
okay,
I couldn't stop.
two of you hit
Just
her.
collided.
She hit the receiver.
Yeah.
She
said she was okay, but then I blew the whistle because I thought it went out,
Yeah,
and the girl said it didn't and went,
yeah.
and then I should have just called timeout after we hit.
So the girl who had the ball.
No, it was
no
on the
change of
ground.
possession or
No,
anything.
no,
She
no.
just went and picked it
Yeah,
up. So you blew it.
yeah.
And then what?
She picked the ball up and went.
And just took off.
It ended up being a change of possession, I think. She
Yeah.
was coming out,
Yes.
and then
Was
ended
it?
up going
Oh, yeah.
back in.
And then
It
it had
was.
to-
See, they took advantage of that.
Yeah,
But I think they just ended up taking advantage of it
because it's on the ground.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because you had impacted the player.
Yeah, but I know next time I'll just call timeout immediately, and then we can
and
talk
then
it
you
out,
can go closest player to ball.
and then we can figure it out.
Yeah.
Instead of just because by the time I looked up, it looked like it was out of bounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that you can go inadvertent, you can blow the whistle to make sure the
We're
player's
talking like
okay,
AP or
and
something
then
like
therefore
that.
you can go inadvertent whistle and
Yeah.
go closest to ball.
Yep.
Was she the player that was going to receive the pass?
Yes.
That's where I can understand what you're saying, where it
Yeah.
makes it a little trickier, because now not
Right.
only we impacted the players,
Right, the possession too.
yeah, we
Where like I said, we talked about I should have called timeout right away, or one of us would do it next.
yeah, that's all I would say
Yeah.
on that. I mean, it is a tough
You
one.
never had that
You know,
happen before.
from what I could read from the coaches, and it wasn't like they were on the sidelines like.
No, they
adamant
didn't even
and
hear
lost
him
their
say
minds
anything,
over it.
yeah.
They saw
I know. I thought
they
we
saw
were
it for
like,
Yeah.
they saw it for what it was, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
you guys
It's
had-
incidental, but
Yeah. Okay. Like you said earlier, you guys had good teamwork. Eye contact, the way you're looking at each other, the way you guys were working together. That part of it really was dialed in. And so you can see the importance of it. Like these games are difficult. There's a lot going on. And the easiest way for us to be consistent is to stay together, right? Each other.
Physical limitations are another tricky topic. An overweight official or an official with bad knees may struggle to get up and down the field. Instead of pointing out the challenge, "You're too slow," offer suggestions as to how to deal with it. We choose to play just the audio of this clip. Listen to how the observer delivers this information.
The main thing for you is, I would say, your ability to transition ahead and behind and to stay behind his lead or his trail, like to close
Right.
that proximity. You're gonna have to
Work on
You're gonna
that.
have to use every other tool you can.
Yep. Till I
to-
get there, till I get up there. Yeah.
to make that happen,
Yep.
right? Because the speed. There's a number of things that affect that. Speed is not the only one.
Your
One
first
of them.
step, like
Your first step, your reaction time to transition, the hustle that you continue with through that entire transition. All of those things impact it. It's not just the speed. So don't think, oh, because I'm not fast, I'm not able to get ahead, or I'm not able to close that gap. Like, you just have to use all the skills and all the tools we have to be able to do it. 'Cause, you can see where it affects your ability, right, to be able to have your calls in the timing you need it.
The observer has offered some tips to help this official with the challenge. As we are all aware, this conversation might be more productive in a one-on-one setting. The official is probably well aware of this challenge and may be more receptive to your suggestions in a more private setting. As a tip for you, if you are an experienced official yourself, you may want to start the solution with, "Here is what I found helped me when the speed of the game outpaced me," and then offer some solution. In this section, we are addressing the need to have tools available to you so you can present the feedback in a way that addresses different types of learners. You should try to use visual, auditory, and kinetic tools to convey our message to the candidate. Showing an official on the field would work at a clinic during the summer play, but keep in mind that doing it during a scrimmage or an official game would undermine the integrity of the official. Showing them movement, etc. on paper as a visual for a visual learner might be a better option. Try to have a field diagram so you can express to them what they are doing and what you would like them to do. Explaining a challenge and a solution in easy-to-understand terms might be enough for some feedback to the auditory learner. In this clip, the observer is addressing two issues. One is a reminder of a team technique to cover the draw based on where the ball has traveled on the draw. And the second issue is discussing positioning problems and why a suggestion might work better, even offering some compromise. The observer has a field diagram handy on the back of the clipboard to better assist in the demonstration of the solution while explaining why a better position may be beneficial.
How do
Yeah.
you feel as C, as
Yeah.
wide as you are? Are you getting?
I'm only gauging myself on the so I can see the player peripheral with me. I don't want anybody behind me.
All right, so here's
Right.
you.
I got a player here. I'm going to be there. If they're sneaking in here, I'll come in. But there's always somebody. I'm just afraid to get somebody behind me, and I don't want to get somebody
That's
behind
good.
me.
You're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Now, when you get down here,
Yeah.
you're pretty wide. You're over here.
Right.
You
Only
like it
because
over
I'm
there?
trying to see this back edge.
Sounds like a trick question.
What's your question?
Careful.
You like it over there, Michael? Okay. It makes it a little harder speed-wise when the ball cuts all the way across
Yeah.
over here for you to get in
Yeah.
shooting space area. So I might compromise with you a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the elbow
Yeah.
and not a lot farther.
Okay.
You're
That's
a big
fine.
guy. You can see everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, those of us that
It's
are
always
short.
the little when she's playing on ball here.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
all the little checks and bang and sometimes when you're up here you can't really see it, and then my partner can't really see it over here.
Uh-huh.
So then I'm sometimes
You're
coming down
creeping.
here
You're creeping.
creeping, right?
Yeah, you're
Hopefully I'm not, but with these girls collegiate level, that pass is coming a lot faster
Oh, yeah.
and quick and moving over here. So I definitely need to cheat that up.
While the observer and official are using the clipboard, note the question that was used. How do you feel at sea as wide as you are? To which the partner official responds, that sounds like a trick question. So we added a little humor here. Note the possible solution and why it would help. The why, you've got a long way to go to get to cover the shooting space down the middle. And he tended to agree. The solution, let's compromise and try it a bit closer so you can get to shooting space, cover the middle on a quick pass.
Here are some thoughts that you might consider when certain problems arise. If the officials are missing a lot of calls, is it positioning or knowledge and foul recognition? Try to determine the cause of the missed calls and help them develop a solution. If they are missing important calls like shooting space, is it positioning or lack of anticipation? Give suggestions for where to position themselves or help them with how to anticipate play by telling them what to look for or discuss how off-ball players are moving. If they're not using their flag, do they understand the criteria for a scoring play? Or is the issue anticipation and readiness? Review the definition of a scoring play or talk about how to prepare to pull a flag. What are you looking for? Where do you keep your flag? Things like that. And finally, don't be the only talker. It's important that you listen to the officials so you can understand their thought processes and so that they feel valued.
We need more anticipation for you to get to that lead position. You got caught flat.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. You were here flat.
Yep.
And they were back here, and you had an eye on her. She wasn't contested, but she threw a pass out here, and you were like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
I can see.
I think I let
that.
myself because they were being really chippy behind the net before, so I got drawn that way, and then when they weren't doing it as much, I didn't correct.
Yeah.
Some other things to keep in mind. This first statement is something that we have seen with many observers. They concentrate so hard on the fact that the official's positioning isn't very good that they forget to make a comprehensive observation and consider all the other aspects of the official's skill set, things like their foul recognition, game management, and communications. When the observers go to provide feedback, they have a very limited set of topics to discuss. Observers should pay attention to each of the core areas and be able to provide feedback in every one of them. Be prepared with your compliment sandwich approach before the officials come off the field. Circle things that you definitely want to discuss first so they don't get lost. Remember to explain why something is important. And always acknowledge when they've made corrections. A good job goes a very long way. When providing feedback, you want to offer a prescription that is doable. And also don't forget to provide a next step. Give them a target for the next clinic or the next game that they work, or if they're ready, a suggestion on how to move up. Your feedback should include why this feedback should work better for you, an acknowledgement of their corrections of the challenges you gave them, a summary of their challenges with prescriptions from you on how to work on them, and finally a statement of what the next step is for them in their development. And when you are all done with the observation, analyze your own performance. Did I give the official good feedback? Did I offer prescriptive solutions? Did I listen to the official and make them feel I understood their thought process? Too often we finish an observation, write up the rating form, and check it off the list. A good observer, like a good teacher or a good manager, evaluates their own performance to determine what they can do to improve in the future.
That concludes our prepared content for tonight. Before we open it up to questions, I want to extend a great deal of gratitude to a few people that made this possible. Firstly, to all of the officials who agreed to be filmed for the project, our certified observers who provided such wonderful examples and were comfortable with us filming them, Jason Brightful, Liz Brush, Maggie Walsh. And finally, from me to the presenters, a big thank you for the countless hours you've put into attaining the video and editing to make it palatable content for our learning tonight. Thank you. Okay, now we have time for questions. Please submit any questions by using the question mark icon to the right of the screen.